Morning, everybody. Michelle is here. It's Saturday morning, and we have some overcast clouds here. And I understood there were some devastating storms that happened overnight. And uh, and I hope all of us realize that that's going to be the norm for quite some time. Because of the overpopulation and everything else going on with the climate. And you know, I just want everybody to be safe. And like I said, just be prepared. Have your bags packed, and in the case of an emergency, you can get up out of there and not be so concerned about everything else that's left behind. Unfortunately, so I'm kind of chatting back and forth with one of my friends I went to high school with. I'm telling you, I had so much fun in high school. Now that I think about it, there were so many friends. We were just crazy as I don't know what, you know, and just going back and forth in a friendly way. And like I said, I don't. We had a school resource officer there, and I think that was just like everything else. Sometimes stuff just gets forced down our throat. Especially in black communities where they think but not thinking that there's a problem. Always in our communities, always. And he was a black officer, I remember, and he was so cool. He probably thought he was in heaven because he didn't have to do anything. All right, he didn't have to do a thing but just monitor and make sure we were safe, which is a good thing to keep problems from coming onto the campus. But on the campus, it was I just remember there was a lot of us, a lot of black people, people of Latino descent, and we had fun. I made such great memories with the most of everyone. I mean, yeah, did I cause problems? Yes, I was a clown. I was a class clown. I was easily bored, and I would say anything. I would be singing. I was a rebel. Me, a rebel in school? What? That's not true, is it? And it's because I was bored and dealing with these teachers that did not understand our culture, and they were boring as God. It was so boring. So anyway, I had to entertain myself. And thankfully, my mom did not know how to drive. I'm telling you, I would have been in so much trouble, honey, because you didn't want my mama coming up to your school. No, you do not want a black mother like my mama coming to your school. Not at all. So thankfully, she didn't know how to drive, and so I was safe to carry on and act up and cause so many disruptions in class. It was fun. I remember fun times, and so I'm gonna try to reach all of them. Try to reach the ones that I spent the most time with, in high school, and and see what we can bring up and talk about and catch up with. So that's the point. We just need to capture the moments with people. Just capture the moments and do everything you can to resolve any kind of issues you may have had with people. I've done that, and I think I'm done. I mean, I did everything I can to reach certain people. There's one never mind. I'm done. So I've done what's reasonable without being obsessive about it. It's done. It's over. Anyway, um, and so that you can have a clear conscience to deal with your consciousness and your psyche. I hope that makes sense. You have to deal with. You see, your conscious is also pinging at you. Not to mention your subconscious. You know, like you need to resolve this. You need to resolve this. You need to resolve this. And what people do is usually ignore it. They'll drink something. They'll smoke something. They'll do this, and they'll become obsessive with something to avoid their conscious, not their consciousness, but their conscious. Um, Such as they'll overeat, over exercise, overwork, whoring around, irresponsible. I mean, the list can go on and on and on. And usually, those factors have something to do with what's going on in your thoughts when you're all out when you're like that, all out of you're not neutral. You're not neutralized in your behavior. Your behavior represents what's going on in your thoughts. So if you're having recklessness going on all the time, well, your thoughts are recklessness as well. It's all the same thing. It's all energy, all energy. We are part of the overall creation, which people call God, Lord, whatever you want to call it. As long as you know it's energy, we can work with, we can communicate effectively. Okay, um, and all of us can be a god to ourselves, and that's where we need to start anyway, and stop wanting to be a god. I'm saying the material. You have a lot of people that want to be gods to everyone. Instead of worrying about themselves. Usually they're politicians in religion, even in your community. Everybody wants to be a god over everybody else instead of themselves and worry about themselves. I'm my own goddess or god. All right, I don't need anyone else for that. And that's where we need to get to, because trust me, when the chips are down, where is everybody? Because the chips will be down. And where's these gods at? I know so many people have been, and a lot of them are homeless too, because of their reliance on these so-called gods in their life. These people, they expected it. These people said, well, I'll be there for you. And they became complacent and believed that, even though that person who was saying all this stuff never walked the talk. And so a lot of people have lost everything because they were relying on somebody else. And that's where you need to take responsibility for your life, and that's why, like I said, a lot of people are homeless, and not to mention, to me, there is housing for everybody. All these abandoned buildings, all these abandoned properties. But at the same time, the people that are, I guess they call them homeless now, or they call them something else. I'm not even sure. We keep changing so many. It all means the same. We just need to stop changing so many concepts and making things trendy and all this and that and the other. But that's another story in itself. But those of you that are homeless or houseless, I guess that's what they're saying, you have to be responsible too. You just can't go into places and cause even more mayhem and destruction. When someone does give you a home, some of them go in there and just act as though they're still homeless. With the way their hygiene, how in this, and how they live. And yes, some of it is mental illness as well. But at the same time, I think all of us have, if none of us, one thing I can say about all of us, we all have a bit of mental illness or mental disturbance. All of us. All right. War does that. I said that. All right. All of us have a disturbance of mental illness. Okay. That doesn't require medication. So there's not one person that's immune from that, even children. Okay, and you can't medicate your way out of it. It's about your thoughts and taking responsibility and being accountable for your behavior and actions. That's the simple answer to that. So there's a lot of work to be done. And like I said, I want all the teachers out there, you know who you are, more so the 144-210s, come out of the shadows and help this planet. Okay? You know what your responsibilities are. Get out of your shadows. Brush off put your ego aside and come out and help people. Help this planet more so. And some of you come out and help people to deal with, death and destruction. That's what I said, death and destruction. People need to be prepared for that. All right? Like I said, the earth has had enough. Okay? The party is over. All right. There is no turning back now. We've gone massively overpopulated. And like I said, what are we going to do with 9 billion people? No one can save 9 billion people, even with the best of intentions, especially when we're at this low vibrational. Nope. They're putting themselves and their planets at risk. And who would do that logically, rationally, and reasonably? No one. So all they can do is monitor. That's all they're doing. Monitoring and making sure this planet doesn't affect theirs. When we deal with nuclear weapons and such. All right, so the picture is not good. I'm not painting a good picture, but you need to come to grips with it and be creative with the information I'm giving you and put it out in whatever form you can to get the word out to people. Do it in a creative project in the best way you can, to help people and prepare people. All right. So I'm going to stop there, and I want to send peace and love again all over the planet, all over the universe. And, once I finish up my morning chores and responsibilities, I'll be back.